What's the deal, y'all? Y'all already know it's the Bounce Out K-Po. That Soldier Project right there. We got two other members, Mike, J Peso. They out doing their own thing, but shout out to them. This is the Mind on Greatness podcast, here to talk sports and anything. Today's topics are going to be Nick Chubb's injury. How does that affect the running back market? Running backs trying to get paid. SHAKUR Stevenson, is he a boogeyman at his weight class? And we're also going to talk about Colorado. They took an L today, but we feel a little differently about it. So, B, we're going to start out with the first one. Nick Chubb's injury. To you, in your honest opinion, how does his injury affect, the running back market? Running backs want to get paid. How does that affect that?
Welcome back, folks. First off, but let's get to it. Nick Chubb injury in the running back market. It's kind of looking scary for the running back situation. We already know we've been going back and forth with the situation about trying to get him paid, trying to get him to respect the position again as a whole, And this injury taking place at the time it didn't took place is kind of a major hit, a major blow to the story of the running backs because I feel like it's kind of turning into the perfect scenario for the running back market to where they can write them off and say, hey, this position is not worth this type of money anymore because number one, they sustaining these injuries, and number two, they already feel like you can find a running back at the drop of a coin and you can pick one up and it can fit right into your offense. It is turning into a heavy passing attack type league. They're looking for those tweener type backs that can come out the backfield, run routes, and all that good stuff. So I would say, all in all, his injury affects the, the game for the running back significantly. Not only that, because from the Brown standpoint, Nick Chubb being hurt, what do they have to lean on now? Because Deshaun Watson doesn't look like the Deshaun Watson of old, and this team really don't have nothing to lean on. They do have the guy over there, Jerome Ford. It's still not a Nick Chubb. You know what I'm saying? He probably come in and have some flashes in the pot where you can see like, oh, they don't need Nick Chubb right now, but at the same time, you can't replace Nick Chubb, and everybody know that. But again, like I said, it's not a good scenario. It's playing out to be the perfect narrative for the NFL and other aspects of football to write off the running back position as a whole and not want to pay these guys. I hate that it's happened, but it's just all in all too perfect of a scenario. And not just him. You got J.K. Dobbins out again for the season. You got Saquon Barkley hurt already. You got Austin Eckler hurt already. And these are some of the names you looking like, okay, these guys are finna reset the market with the money when it comes to their production. They was the guys that was holding the torch running in front, trying to lead the way and keep the pathway lit for the running backs. But I hate that it's happening. Hopefully, by the end of the season, it's something to turn around and it's one of these running backs to stay healthy and get things jumping for the running back market again. But that's my take on that. I'm gonna pass it over to you.
My take is this. This definitely pushes that narrative about the running back position. You know, first and foremost, I want to send my condolences to Nick Chubb and Minka Fitzpatrick. Minka Fitzpatrick. I want to say this: all the death threats and all the stuff he getting is unacceptable. This is football. At the end of the day, it's a violent sport. Things happen. He was trying to play and give it his all. Nick Chubb ain't no small dude. So he went at his legs, and it happened how it happened. So shout out to both of these amazing athletes. But like I said before, it is a black eye for the running back position. You know, it kind of shows that, like that the narrative that they pushing, hey man, these dudes get hurt. They get hurt. So why should I pay you? You know? But I could put a spin on it. This also shows you that you need to pay these running backs early. Look at Bijan Robinson, right? Look at the type of back he is. You know what I mean? You want to get these guys if the running back position is a position that y'all feel like, hey, 4 or 5 years down the line, they're not going to be, uh, an elite back anymore. Then you need to pay them early. You know what I mean? So that's my logic on that. Is okay. Get this guy a contract to where it's incentive based. You know, hey, if you reach this milestone, you get this amount of money, right? That way, if he don't reach those milestones, you're not guaranteeing him that money. He don't have to pay it, but also his motivation for that, running back or player to reach those milestones and to make sure he stay healthy. But in this instance, man, it's just unfortunate. Like you point out, Saquon, Austin Eckler, you know, J.K. Dobbins. I mean, he been hurt every year. J.K. Dobbins. I mean, he not making it no better either. So, I just think that these the running back position it, it it's taking a hit. You know what I mean? It's definitely taking a hit, but I think it's one of the most important positions on the field because you need that to set up other things, and that's something that a lot of coaches, truthfully, when they speak truthfully about the running back position, they know they need it, right, in order for the offense to be effective. I mean, we just saw a college team lose today because they don't have a run game. They got a lot of stuff going on, but mainly they don't have a run game, and they never did this season. I'm talking about Colorado. So, but we'll get on that in another subject.
I got other type of questions that raises concern too about the NFL. It's like ever since they kind of tweaked the rules as far as the way you can hit players, like targeting and all this other stuff, and also ever since they have taken away the fourth preseason game, which is normally where the starters, all 11 starters come in and get a whole half worth of football in. It's raising other concerns with me. It's like since you took the fourth preseason game away, and you didn't altered all these different type of ways and legal ways you can make contact in the sport of football. Now I feel like the injury level has risen since then. Because guys so scared to take a shot towards the head, so scared to take a shot towards a midsection in a certain type of way, and now they just go for the legs. Certain injuries are being sustained. There's too many ACLs, MCLs, PCLs, Achilles. It's like that raises concern to me. Like, do we need to bring the four preseason game back so these guys can get in the contact shape? Do we need to kind of tweak the rules again back to how they work? Because I feel like when the rules were less prone to getting flags thrown, that's when people was getting hit and getting up safe. My fault, I butted in right there, but I just wanted to put that out there. There's some other concerns raised, different type of eyebrows right there. My bad.
Nah, you good, man. I mean, you got brought up a great point. I feel like they do need to bring that back. You know what I mean? But also they need to make the starters play in all preseason games, in my opinion, because your body has to get conditioned to take those hits. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. A dude on the street can't come on the field, put pads on, and think he gonna be able to get hit. It's not happening. His body is not accustomed to that. Your body can get used to certain things. I hate to bring this up, but when I used to get a whooping, and we finna get real. When I used to get a whooping when I was little, you know what I mean? After a while, the belt don't hurt no more. Because you didn't, yeah, like you didn't got accustomed to it. They whoop you, you like, all right, next, like, hey, this stuff don't hurt. Then they start stealing off on you. At first it hurt. Then after a while, you like, okay, like, do. Oh, okay, you didn't stole me in my jaw. All right, cool. All right. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is your body got to get accustomed to these things. You know what I mean? The same thing in boxing. When you first got in boxing, somebody hit you with a jab and your head did this. Your neck was hurting for like a couple of days. But after a while, you take a jab, you like, okay, you good. That's because your body has gotten conditioned. So I just feel like they're mainly trying to protect these stars for money. And I get it, but at the same time, you signed up to play this game. Excuse me. You signed up to play this game. It's a violent game. You know what I mean? And you have to, you're a multi-million dollar athlete, some of these guys. You have to put your body in the best shape to come out here and do what you need to do. I know this is a different sport, but look at LeBron. LeBron puts millions and thousands of dollars into his body, what he eats, how he trains, how he recovers. These are the things that a lot of NFL players aren't doing. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that, you know, if you want if you want a certain position, if you're a running back and you want to get paid, you gonna have to take some yoga or do something. You know what I mean? But we finna segue the next topic, right? You know, and I genuinely mean this, and B mean this too, man. Shout out to N.Chubb, man. Hope you have a speedy recovery. Hope you come back better than before, because you were that Browns offense. You know, it's very unfortunate. We're gonna start with Shakur, right? Shakur Stevenson has been very outspoken lately. He's said things. He's called grown men out of their name, called them beezies and heezies. We, you know, the Monogrammers podcast, we don't use profanity. You know, we try not to. You know what I mean? We grown. We try not to. You know what I mean? We try. I ain't guaranteeing, but we try not to. But he called grown men out his name. And I'm talking about Frank Martin. Um, and you know, but when it came to Devin Haney, you know, Devin Haney offered him a contract. He responded with, "I know my worth," you know. But in that contract, kind of find out he was getting offered $8 million, but you still turned down a Devin Haney fight, which was to an undisputed fight. But he offered Frank Martin $1 million for to fight, a flat rate of $1 million, and Frank Martin like, bro, after I get done paying his that and the third, I ain't got nothing. So give me an extra million and we can fight. So my reaction to the Shakur Stevenson situation is this. It's I see he's trying to create this narrative of a boogeyman. And my response is you haven't fought those names. And even the guys you have fought, you haven't you I mean, yeah, you're very skillful. We see that, but you're not destroying people. You know what I mean? You're not destroying fighters to where a fighter could look at you and be like, I don't want to fight you. We, you know, if anything, they see the skill, they see the talent, they see the IQ. He's very intelligent, Olympian, silver medalist, all that. But understand that there is a false narrative that he's trying to push. He's trying to create this narrative, you know, that everybody's against him, and that's not true. You know, it's a lot of people, including myself, who look at Shakur Stevenson as a good fighter, you know, and all he needs to do is just shut up and fight and let his work prove itself. You know, because when you do all that talking, it don't work business wise. When you calling grown men, let me tell you something. I come from the old school era, and when I came up and you was a dude and you called another dude out his name, you gotta see that boy. There was no, oh, I'm gonna say this and nothing happening to you. No, some hands finna get put on you, or he finna come talk to you. Like, bro, what you mean by this right here? And you know, wherever it leads to, that's what it leads to. No way, shape, or form I'm supporting violence and pushing violence. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, overall, Shakur Stevenson needs to grow up, fight, and he'll get the fights that he need to be great. But you talking how you talking is not gonna get you them fights. You having that mindset that Bud Crawford got, that's Bud's story. That's not your story, right? I think he needs to follow his own journey, his own path. But B, what you got? What you think about Shakur Stevenson?
Uh, I'm gonna say this first and foremost. You 100% right. You're not finna just walk around, especially as a professional, and call grown men out of their name and think you're gonna get what you deserve or get what you want. You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side of that coin, I got a different little perspective, my own little narrative that I put together, and I'm kind of new to the Shakur Stevenson train. I just now started getting into him, so I don't know his background or his history in 100% completeness. But at the same time, I will say this: from when I did start watching him, he seemed like he was the type of guy who would pay homage where homage was due. You know what I'm saying? If they brought up certain fighters' names in his interview, he would say, "Oh, I'd rather not speak on it because I don't know," or I give him his props, whether it's referred to, whether he's referring to Devin Haney or anybody else. He would say, "Yeah, I sparred the dude. Me and this dude and had good sparring sessions. Da 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 yada yada yada." But at the same time, it's like I feel like Shakur Stevenson is being put in a corner, or he's backing his own self into a corner to where it's like, how much longer can he hang on to being a humble dude and just sitting back and kind of waiting on everything to take shape before they give him a chance? And I would say the way he's going about it, I wouldn't say he's begging and crying and screaming out for that opportunity, but at the same time, it's more like he just wants somebody to give him a chance to prove himself, to show that he's worthy to be in those, pound for pound conversations, those, unified title fights and stuff like that, undisputed title fights, you know what I'm saying? So, all in all, like I say, I'm just now getting into it, but at the same time, I feel like he's just held on to that bubble on the inside for so long, and now that he didn't held it for so long, it then finally popped, and now he getting outside the character and saying things he really gonna regret. Because, like you mentioned, on the business side, from the business aspect of it, you're not gonna bring in the big fish that you want speaking to certain people that in that manner. So I definitely get what you're saying. I get where he coming from, but he still should keep it the way he been going about his business, which is being humble, paying homage when you're supposed to pay homage. And again, you can't write your story the same as somebody else's story, because everybody's story is different, especially when it comes from the boxing world. Everybody may seem like they got the same narrative. Oh, they came from the mud. They started off in this place. They was poor. Yeah, a lot of people do, but at the same time, everybody take different steps at different times. So all in all, I feel like he just need to pump his brakes a little bit, stay true to who he is, and somebody will end up wanting to step up and say, "Hey, I want to give this guy Shakur Stevenson the fight." Stop creating a false narrative or trying to make yourself out to be the boogeyman, and making it seem like people are ducking you. But that's my opinion towards that. If you got something different to say, we got a comment box. You know what I'm saying? Say what you got to say, and we'll reply to it. But anyways, let me take a deep breath. We gonna get into this Colorado watch. Hold on before y'all say what y'all gotta say. Pump your brakes. We finally took a punch to the face today, and like I said, we know Colorado ain't gonna win them all. That's not the narrative Prime was trying to create. That's not the narrative Colorado Buffalo football team was trying to create. So, being that we took this punch in the face, I'm glad we took it from a team that should be able to punch back and put us in the dirt, as they should. We didn't take it against the Colorado State, even though they was giving us a good whooping. But Oregon, you have to understand they're a ranked opponent for a reason. They're a ranked college football team for a reason. And even earlier, I had put out that I didn't think the defense would be stout enough to slow down Colorado's offensive passing attack. Boy, was I wrong. So let me give a shout out to Oregon. Y'all played excellent. Bo Nix is one of those quarterbacks who that the world sees is already NFL ready. He's been around the college football game a long time. He transferred from Auburn, and he's now over at Oregon, and he's still looking the part. He hasn't backed down. He's not going to lay down, and we didn't expect him to as a Colorado fan. So for the Colorado faculty, Colorado coaches, Colorado players, Colorado fan, Colorado base university, stay put, stay tuned. Prime is not one of those guys who's going to let his people dwell on a loss for too long. But I will say this: this is one of those losses that Colorado can learn a lot about themselves. All the little holes that was left open, all the little question marks that was unanswered, and before the season started, now you see, now you know where you need to be tending to. Now you know where you need to be putting all your eggs in a basket versus putting them all in over here. And that's what we gonna do. No, no, no. This game lets you know what you need to be doing to fill these voids. How you gonna fill these voids? What type of players do you need to fill these voids? And then, granted, they was missing Travis Hunter, but Travis Hunter is not gonna win in this game. Being down 35-0 at half, Travis Hunter is not gonna have an effect on that. Some of the plays wouldn't have happened. The score could have been a little bit different, but at the same time, one man is not gonna affect the outcome on the one side of the game in this fashion. So, but I do wish you a speedy recovery. I do hope they get you back soon because honestly, I thought you was playing. But that's me on my behalf, my fault. But at the same time, Colorado, Coach Brown, keep swinging, keep your head up. I'm still riding with you. I don't care who pull up because, like I say, it's never been done in this fashion. People been looking for y'all to lose, and now that y'all lost, a lot of people gonna kind of sway and start, having their own, thoughts about it. I'm not. I still believe you just got some things you need to fix, some issues you need to address, and my God, y'all got to clean up these penalties and getting off the slow starts. The slow starts cannot happen, especially without a running game. The passing game has to be firing on all cylinders immediately. The slow starts has to stop. But again, we're gonna learn from it. We're gonna move on from it. Pretty sure Coach Prime probably got the boys right now outside doing tour days or something. But it is what it is. That's my take on the Colorado game. We'll be back next week. I'm still rooting for you. What you got to say about that, Capo?
Um, I walked away from this game. I didn't walk away from this game feeling like, oh, Oregon was way superior. I walked away from this game like Colorado just shot themselves in the foot. And the reason why I say that is because the penalties, the play calling was horrible. I just feel like they walked into this game and they thought that Oregon was going to lay down. And Oregon came in on 10, you know? And this was a learning lesson, right? For Colorado as a team, right? Like you pointed out, it showed them what they need to fix. Colorado has not ran the ball effectively this year at all. So Oregon knew that they gonna throw the ball. Shador gonna throw the ball 60 times. They know that. They gonna give it to Dylan Edwards. And and I just want to say this: it's a challenge to that running back room. Y'all gotta find out a way, even if there's not any holes. You gotta make a play. You have to break tackles. You saw Oregon's running back when Colorado had defenders in play. He was breaking tackles, running them over, making a miss. Whatever he could, they answered the ball as running backs. They answered the call and ran the ball down Colorado's throat, right? Controlled the clock, kept that offense off the field, kept Shador Sanders cold. And that's the remedy for them, right? You so it's like what Colorado got to do is find a way to run that ball, right? They have to find a way to run the ball. They could throw the ball. We know they could throw it all over the field, but they have to run that ball. That's gonna set up everything. That's gonna put them in a situation to where they can control the clock. That's gonna put them in situations where their defense is well rested, right? Because the problem was today their defense was on the field more than the offense was. You know what I mean? So I like you said, I still believe. I still believe in this team. Them going undefeated. I mean, heck, not every man. Let's be real. In sports, you're not gonna go undefeated all the time. You're gonna lose some games, whether it's to the best team or to the worst team. You're gonna lose some games, right? And people gonna talk though. That's just society. People gonna talk. People gonna hate. People, feel like, oh, this is over with, like Charleston White. People feel like this is over with, and this, that, and the third. But if you have that energy, that shows who you are as a person. That shows that you're weak minded. You know, you know this is finna blossom into something great. You know what I mean? They Prime building a dynasty, and that's how I looked at it. I said, man, if he, and I'm just saying this, and I'm not making excuses for him, but I'm saying if this man win, let's say next week they got to play USC, they beat USC, you know, and let's just say they finish the season with 2 losses, right? They still going to a bowl game, right? He's still gonna get top recruits want to go there. Top people getting in the transfer portal wanting to go there. Why? Because this man know how to get these little young dudes and motivate them to come out and give it they all, whether they lose or win. It's a different vibe there. It's not a It's not just like a Nick Saban relationship where he's like, "Hey, I can get you to the NFL." Yeah, no, he actually care about these young men. He actually is like a father figure, and that's what these young men, especially these young black men, that's what they need. They need that. You know what I mean? Some of these kids don't have fathers, so Deion Sanders stepping in that role, right, is fulfilling that role, and he's promising making them into men. Not, oh, you going to the NFL. He's promising making you into a great man. You know what I mean? To where when you leave his program, whether you go to NFL or not, whether you leave his program, go work at Kenny Shoes, whatever it is, you're gonna be a man. You know what I mean? You're gonna be a man that take care of your family and his kids, and, all that. He's gonna make you a man. So like I said, in my opinion, I left the game. I didn't leave the game like, oh, they suck. I left the game like, okay, they lost, but I saw some great things. If they fix this, which is the run game, they finna take off. If they able to, they need to fix the run game, get some bigger defensive linemen and offensive linemen, or even just this year. Okay, we're not even gonna talk about the future. This year, if they figure out how to run the football effectively, you know, whether it's running and putting Dylan Edwards in a slot and giving it to him, whatever it is, find ways to give him the ball, make him run the ball, right, effectively. And they D line is able to do stunts and get free. I'm telling you, they might lose to USC next week, but I promise you they not gonna lose no other game for the rest of the season. That's just my perspective, you know. So you got anything else, B? You wanna add in up?
Yeah, since we on the topic, on the subject, I was watching the game, and a lot of the reporters that were there at the game, they gave inside access to Coach Lanning's speech before the game. Let me clarify this. A lot of people taking that scenario, and I'm no in way, shape, form, or fashion taking up for what he said. I just want y'all to understand what he was saying. The man said, "We're not doing this for clicks. We're doing this for wins." What he means is, what he is interpreting is, he's speaking to his team to get them motivated, to wrap their head around the whole situation. They're not just taking a shot at Colorado because they're playing Colorado and Coach Prime. That's not what he means. He's getting this team in a functionality mode to know, like, we are one of the teams that belong in the top four. We playing for something bigger. We playing for a spot in the bowl game, the bowl game. We want to hold the trophy up at the end of the day. We should be considering one of these, and people was making it look like Colorado was so much bigger than them. But as a whole, Colorado themselves is never going to be bigger than college football because they are inside the realm of college football. They are going to be the story of the year. Of course, they're going to be. They got Coach Prime bringing all this type of different light to a different type of situation. He's rebuilding the program, and he's already made it interesting within the first 3-4 weeks of college football. So Coach Lanning is not taking a shot at Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. I want people to understand that. That's him speaking to a group of young men that he believes in. And whether you believe it or not, things like this in the locker room are said all the time by coaching this. And by any means, they're not taking a personal matter towards any single person on any single team. So good words from Coach Lanning though. He brought his team to a light and to a situation to where it was like, I got to give my guys something. I'm leading my troops. I got to give them something. I got to give them something to lean on and to believe in before we go out here and take on this team. Because if you don't have something to lean on, as far as motivation, when you go play the Colorado Buffaloes, we know they built around motivation. We know they built around, being the underdogs. We know they built around coming in and having to put up a fight. So if you don't come in with something to lean on against them, you could easily find yourself like a TCU. You could easily find yourself, losing in a double overtime to Colorado State. Not losing to Colorado State, but you can find yourself easily getting beat if you don't have something to lean on when you're playing against Colorado. So all in all, I wanted to put that in there. Appreciate it. I'm gonna pass it back over to you.
That's some great points. That's some great points. And like I said, man, to touch on like the organ, it's crazy because I was thinking about that. I got sidetracked, but like you point out, coaches say that all the time. I didn't really have an issue with anything he said. You know what I mean? It just he motivating his team. Now I watched his interview after the game, and he said, "Hey, I got." He did apologize. He said, "I got a little carried away, but I was just trying to motivate my guys." So he did confirm everything that you basically said, but he as a man, he apologized. Like, look, I got a little carried away, you know, I got a little out of character, but I was just trying to get my guys going. So he was like, I respect that program, and he even said they gonna be a good program. If he said they gonna be a problem, basically he didn't say it like that. He said it more in another way, but we put a little flavor and seasoning on ours, but he said that he basically said Colorado gonna be a problem, in the future, and I believe that, what I mean. But they gotta run the ball, and they gotta control the clock because time management is everything. What I mean, when you're going against these big programs, you know, you have to you gonna have to slow the game down. You know, you got to slow the game down. You got to control the clock. You're gonna have to have situational awareness, and I think that's another thing that they're lacking right now: situational awareness. It's like they start off slow, and it's like, oh snap, we down 14-0. Okay, let's start playing now. No, you know what I mean? Like you got to come in there like we finna put 14 on y'all early. You know what I mean? Like that needs to be your mindset. You can't come into these games lallygag and thinking people just gonna lay down. Another thing I saw that we was texting. I told you I think the moment was too big for some of the players. I think they was looking around and they like, oh my god, it was the moment like, and you gotta ignore the noise. You gotta lock in. So I think that was on the coaches. And Dion, I listened to his interview. He took ownership. He said, man, we're not gonna blame the players, coaches too. Coaches as well. We didn't get our guys ready to play. You know what I mean? He said we did have a good week of practice, but we didn't get them ready to play. And I took that as like the men from the mental side, right? Some of the people was looking at the moment instead of just playing, instead of living in the moment, trusting in your training, trusting in what your coach telling you, relying on your teammate. It was just like they looking like, man, look at all these people. Man, we playing Oregon, bro. This is Oregon. You know what I mean? So there's some things they gotta fix mentally. But like I say, y'all, we done reached the end of the podcast. Like, comment, hate, and subscribe. Share the video with your boss. Don't want to get you fired. Don't. If it's gonna get you fired, do it anyway. On the slick. Do it anonymously. You know what I'm saying? Nah, just flat. But we really appreciate all y'all. Like I said, man, come in the comment section. We want to read your comments. We really value your opinions. Let us know what you think. Let us know about the channel. We always looking to improve. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I'm Boss Hog. That's B Houston the Soldier. We out of here.